The leading section from the back of the glider was to go up first and put the pillbox out of action by throwing a smoke bomb on the road as they came up from the landing zone, and through the smoke with short fused grenades, throw them through the slits, the gun slits of the pillbox, and then continue with the rest of the platoon across the bridge, led by Den Brotheridge. This had all been planned, and as I said before, during the training, every platoon was ready to do that job in case they were the first platoon to get to the bridge that night. While this was happening, I heard them pattering up the little track to the bridge from the landing zone, and I emerged from the glider, broke my way through all the debris, the wood that had smashed all around it, and I suppose that really was the most exhilarating moment of my life. Because as I stood there, I could see the tower of the bridge about 50 yards from where I was standing. The nose of the glider was right through the wire fence, the German wire fence, where almost facetiously I'd asked the glider pilot to put the glider back on the model back in UK in order to crash through the wire so we would not have to use the Bangalore torpedoes which every glider had brought with them for this purpose of breaking through the wire. And above all, and this was the tremendous thing, there was no firing at all. In other words, we had complete surprise. We really caught old Jerry with his pants down. But there was no time to wonder about that. I followed the platoon up the track. I saw the smoke bomb explode, the phosphorus bomb. I heard the thud, thud, thud in the pillbox as the grenades exploded, and I knew we'd get no more trouble from there. And the leading platoon ran across the bridge. Now, I must emphasize that up to this moment, it was all done in complete silence. They were my orders that we must get troops the other side of the bridge before, if we had surprise, we had to keep it. Well, as soon as the pillbox went up, of course, with a hell of a bang, that was the signal of fire. By this time, the leading platoon were halfway across the bridge, and they started firing from the hip with their Bren guns, Sten guns, and everything else they had. And the enemy woke up. And it was a tremendous sight to see all the tracer bullets firing in all directions. There seemed to be three different colours, red, yellow, and white, blowing with the enemy firing at us and my men firing at them as they went over the bridge. And while all this was happening, I suddenly heard two more crashes behind me in the landing zone. And I could hardly believe that two more platoons had got there, but it could only have been that. In next to no time, it seemed to me, number 2 platoon commander, David Wood, came running up with his platoon. All I had to say was number 2 task, and he knew that his job was to clear the inner defences of the Germans, because there were pretty strong trenches and other defences and guns along the inside of the canal. And after a bit of a pause, number 3 glider came up, Sandy Smith with his platoon. He seemed to be limping very badly. He confirmed that they had quite a few casualties in landing, but his boys were all right, and I said number 3 task. And I had just received notice that Den Brotheridge, the leading platoon commander, had a bullet through his neck and was laying seemingly dead on the other side of the bridge. Well, Sandy then had to coordinate the 2 platoons on the other side of the bridge.